Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me in here, follow me on my sewing journey, and I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody in the chat. I see the gang is all here. Awesome sauce on that. Well, hello, Miss Dottie. She's back there behind the cords, which is going to cause a problem. So, oh, well, Elizabeth says woof woof to Frito and everyone. Good, good, good. So great to see you guys. Yay. Good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Debbie. Oh my goodness. Yesterday was so busy, so crazy busy. I did get some more stitching done on my project that I have to do for Hoop Sisters for tomorrow. Today begins their big 2-day event. So if you have a ticket, I hope you get to watch that and enjoy that. It's going to be a lot of fun. They're saving the best for last. I'm kidding. They're like, oh, let's put her on the last 30 minutes. All righty. I just spilled my coffee and got that out of the way, so that's good. Fortunately, I have a 9 level in mess cleaning from the military. So that was cleaned up in about 30 seconds. Oh my goodness, it has been just an eventful morning already. All right, so I'm going to move my cutting table out of the way and turn the camera down, and let's say hello and goodbye to the dogs, shall we? What are you guys doing? Well, hello, hello, hello. Yeah, you guys are so good. They're so good. Y'all like my shirt? I love this shirt. It's so comfortable. These kind of cotton shirts that they have. This is bee inspired tees. Y'all need to go over there. I have a link below in the description box and go see everything she's got. She has so many cute little quilting t-shirts to set the mood. Where are my dogs? There's one. There's the other one. Frito says, I'm right here, Mom. I'm right here. They're so good. You're sitting so good. Frito, sit down. You need to sit like her. Sit. You know better. There you go. Good girl. I've been spoiling you and not making you do that. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. Getting your Dave biscuits. I haven't seen Dave in a while. Has he been around or is he flying or what? You girls ready for your sticks? You want your little rawhide to go brush your teeth? Yes? All right. I'm going to turn the camera so we don't leave our friends staring at the floor. That is not fun. Okay, let's go. Out we go. Yay. Let's brush our teeth. You're such good girls. One for you, one for you. All right. Bye-bye. Close that. If I just close the door and not the baby gate, somebody will come through the dog door. That is such a handy thing. Oh my goodness. I love that. Even though Dottie is fully housebroken now, we left the baby gate on, because this is the main, where that quilt's hanging right there. That's the main door into our home. And Amazon rolls in and Frito gets all wound up crazy. So how come my watch is not attached to my phone? There we go. So sometimes it's best to just put them behind the baby gate while we deal with whoever is in the driveway, right? So hello. You're trying to get your laptop to boot back up, Nancy? Yeah, I just did a reboot on my Mac here. That needed done. But okay. Well, hi, Nancy in shirts. Hey, neighbor. Good to see you guys. So nice, so nice. So today I wanted to pre-cut the wreath pieces for the Merry and Bright from Kimberbell. What did I do with the pattern? So you guys can see what I'm talking about. Oh, here it is. I left it over here. Hold on a second. Okay, so what I have here, this is a Kimberbell Classic Volume 2, and I told you guys we were going to sew this week. I just love these patterns. They're so fun. Now, this is machine embroidery, and you get 3 designs in it. So they call this one Deck the Halls, and that's the one we're going to do. And then we have Trimming the Tree and a Gingerbread Man. This is the hard one. This is actually 3 different hoopings. So if you've never done that before, not to worry. The instructions are perfect, and they give you little placement guides with the thumbtack method. And if that's new to you, don't worry. We're going to do that too. So today what I'm going to do is I want to pre-cut all of the pieces for the applique. Now, they do give you SVG cut files to use in here, okay? And you can do that. I don't know when the last time this pattern was touched by the digitizers, but notoriously, Kimberbell cut files, for some reason or another, run small. I don't know why. I have had better luck once I get them into the scan and cut, because you can import the SVG file into the scan and cut, right? To get it in there and go to the size, and with your proportions constrained, click the plus sign 2 times. And that bumps it up just enough that you're not going to get that pull away from that final stitch. And in this case, the pull away is a decorative stitch. It's not a heavy satin stitch. So, I mean, not the pull away, but the final stitch is decorative. It's not heavy satin. So I wanted to show you what I do whenever I get a new embroidery design that I'm going to be working with. I like to know what I'm going to be doing. To me, I mean, I can read the instructions and that's fine, but I highly, highly recommend that you guys, if you're going to be doing machine embroidery, get yourself some embroidery software, and you don't have to be intimidated by it. I use Embrilliance, which is a third-party software. It's not specific to any machine brand, but it works with all brands of machines. And it allows you to go in and take a look at the design and see what you can expect. And that, to me, it's just like navigation, right? If you're going to take a trip, you need to know where you're going. You don't want to just blindly head off, right? So I prefer to take a look at the designs ahead of time and see. For instance, I didn't read the instructions, right off, other than the fabric quantities. I didn't really get into it too deep. But then when I looked at it in Embrilliance, I said, oh, there's half the design. Well, the other half must be, and oh, by the way, there is a third hooping as well. So I've got a link to Embrilliance down below. It's like $140. It is not expensive as in machine embroidery software goes. There is not a coupon for it right now as of November 4th, 2025. So I'll just put that out there right now. So I just saw that. So Kathy likes to preview the stitching too. This just gives you such a great, you get an idea of where you're going, what you're going to be doing, and when it's going to happen and all that. So let me get a sip here on my mug. Becky loves Embrilliance. Yeah, such an easy piece of software. Very easy to use. So, okay. All righty. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys and go into Embrilliance and show you. Now, Embrilliance gives you the ability to create SVG files. It's awesome. And it's very, very simple to do. So what I wanted now, when you have watched me, like last week, I was making the Enchanted Winter, okay, from Kimberbell. Well, the Enchanted Winter, each hooping had maybe 1, maybe 2 pieces of applique. That's really nothing. Oh, and this design comes in 2 sizes. You can do it in a 6x10 hoop, or you can do it in an 8x12. And I want to make the big one. So, where was I going? Let's see, my brain. And then I remembered the sizes I needed to tell you about. And now, so anyway, I got to show you guys something. I got a quilt in the mail. Yes, I got a gift yesterday in the mail from Quilting with Harriet. And I got to show you guys. Look at that exploding heart for Texas. Y'all, no one's ever made a quilt for me before. I got it and I started to cry. I literally did. Look at that. And it has a beautiful, this is from Quilting with Harriet. It has a beautiful label on the back. It says, where is it? It's so pretty. It says, to Becky and Keith, in honor of your service and America's 250th, with love, Harriet Carpanini. Look at that. It's lovely. It is just lovely. I did. I started to cry. She sent along a couple of pot holders too. Just so, so nice. She sent me the pattern and said I could give it away, but I'm not going to. And it's right next to my military shadow box right there. There's my shadow box. My husband made that for me. So it's over there in that corner. I don't show you guys that corner a whole lot, but so the American flag flew over Randolph Air Force Base. I don't know why I'm off on this. It just means a lot to me, you guys. So the American flag flew over Randolph Air Force Base on the day of my retirement. And then retirement ceremony. And then the Texas flag flew over the Texas Capitol. So that was very cool that they did that for me. And then my shadow box has all of my rank and all of that stuff. And then the thing from Harriet, the quilt from Harriet, I have a Texas painted featherweight, Singer featherweight. And I have a picture here of my son, my grandson. He was about 2 right there, me and my dad. So 4 generations of military, lots of pictures of Keith and I. And then my picture here right below, this is Keith and I and my friend Dana and her husband, Frank. He just passed last November. I did his Harley Davidson shirt. So those are just the dearest things in my life. So it was, I cried. Oh, I cried. Harriet, I'm going to cry again. And a wonderful little card. Do I have that here? I'll have to show you guys. Oh, here it is right here. Look at this. It has a very sweet sentiment on the back. Thank you. And I Heart USA on there. And it's all embroidered. And she did a nice little note on the back. I am so crazy blessed. And it was through YouTube that I met her. How about that? Yep. Crazy blessed. She's so sweet. All righty, you guys. So let's get back to Kimberbell. Now, I don't know if the SVG files that come along with the pattern fit or not, but I don't want to chance that. And since I have the ability to make my own SVG files that I know are going to fit, because I'm going to make them from the embroidery design itself. Okay. So if you don't have a cutting machine and you want to give it a try, I recommend that you stitch out the placement line on stabilizer only. You don't need to use your fabric. Okay. You have to have a cutting machine. Duh. Okay. So you cut out the ones that they sent you. If you have a cutting machine, whether it's a Cricut or Scan and Cut or whatever, and you cut them out ahead of time. Okay. Then you need to go and just stitch out on the stabilizer and see if the piece fits. Use your scrap basket for this. Okay. Just see if it fits. And if it does, you're good. If it doesn't, then maybe you would need to plus up the size a little bit. So in the wonderful, no, it's not a Designs by Juju, Elaine. It is not. No, it's right here. Oh, I'll get it for you. It's called Exploding Heart of Texas. Oh, here it is right here. Okay. And this is from Threaded Lines, Mini Exploding Heart of Texas. Okay. It says, oh, slice of pie, slice of PI, slice of pie is where it comes from. Yeah, I love it. It's just gorgeous. Place of honor in my sewing room. Mm-hmm. So anyway, alrighty. I want to go ahead and get these cut, but let me show you how I create cut files in Embrilliance. Very, very easy. So we're going to share the screen. I have my, is it in Moda? Is it on the Moda site for the pattern? Moda doesn't sell stuff on their website. You might find it at, Fat Quarter Shop or something. I don't know. I guess you could Google it. So we're going to go to an infinity screen here for a second. Let me share. Okay. And then I'm going to bring up Embrilliance. So here we go. This is the first half of the design right here. And so when you look into it, as I said, you can see that the final stitch is a decorative stitch. It's not a heavy satin. All right. So all the more reason for them to fit exactly, because you don't need them pulling loose in these little valleys. And if we come over here to the objects panel and click on if you're on a Windows machine, you'll have a plus sign. So let me go now. So in here, again, this is where I want to inspect and see what it is that I'm going to be looking at. Okay. So there's a placement line for the batting and tack down for the batting. There is a placement line for the background fabric, tack down for the background fabric. And I know this because I read through the instructions and I can see, number 4 is a tack down for the background fabric. Now, number 5, this is actually a placement line for 2 pieces of this. Oh, I remember. How do I decide which ones I'm going to cut with a scan and cut and which ones I'm not? Well, this one has 12 pieces to it. So it would take more time for me to pull the hoop after each one of these and trim it away and stitch the tack down than it would for me to just let the scan and cut them all at one time. So, all right. So then the next one is the tack down for those. And then you'd have to pull the hoop and trim around both of these pieces. All right. And then we have a placement line for 2 more and a tack down, pull the hoop and trim. Placement line for 2 more, okay? Tack down, pull the hoop and trim. I just don't want to do that, all right? That's too much like work. But right here, the next one down, here's your placement line for just one of them. And that's what I'm really looking for. They're all the same. They are the exact same size and shape in order to make that nice, cute Dresden thing be balanced. They're all the same shape. So in Embrilliance, to create a cut file, this is the objects panel, and I found the object that I want, okay? And then down here, we have, it says Madeira Rayon Christmas Red. So Kimberbell is using Madeira Rayon Christmas Red as the placement line, all right? That's the placement line. So now I know that. So what I want to do, hold on a second. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to come back up to these applique pieces. Let's see. I think Christmas red is the placement line. So this says light red. I need to tell Embrilliance that this is an applique. I don't know if it knows that, but I need to tell it that. So I'm going to come down here on the color chip and I'm going to right click on it. It says not applique. I want it to say applique position or placement line. Applique position. I'm going to go down to the next light red. Right click, applique position. The next, here's a Christmas red. Right click, applique position. And this one, right click, applique position. Another way you can do that, okay, I don't see any more applique in this. That's all the rest of the background stitching. So right here, I'm going to tell it, I'm just going to left click on it like a regular mouse click. And what happens is you get a thread dialog box pops up. It says thread up here, but it's got 2 tabs. It has color and it has applique. So this is where you can change the thread color if you want. I don't care about the thread color. I'm going to stitch whatever I want. I probably won't change the thread at all while I'm doing these. But next to the color tab is an applique tab. So I'm going to click this. And then you've got some sections that are lined off. We have a fabric view. I'm not interested in that at all. But right here, this one right here, it says cutting. And the inflate, the default for the software is 1.5 millimeters. That might be a little big, okay, because I am making the applique myself I want it to be 0.0 millimeters. I don't want it to inflate. I want it to cut to the exact size. Do I? Will they be short? Let's play it safe and say 0.5, half a millimeter. How about that? That way we'll have just a tiny bit of overlap on those. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe 0.3. Does it matter? We'll see. We'll fly by the seat of my pants. And so down here on a Mac, it says save A, meaning save one. On a Windows machine, it just says save. But then both operating systems have this button right here that says save all. Now, because I told it with the right click in the properties panel that those were applique position lines, now when I click save all, it wants to know, what do I want to call them? So I'm going to save it in my downloads, and I'm going to call them Dresden Wreath. All right, KB for Kimberbell. But see, it automatically saves as a SVG. I'm going to put -SVG just for me to know that I'm looking at SVG files. That just helps me, okay? And I'm going to tell it save. And it says DPI dots per inch 96. I'm just going to tell it okay. Not a big deal. And then I'm done with it. I can tell it okay and be finished. And that's it. I have made SVG files. So how do I know that they all saved? Okay, so I'm going to go out on the interwebs to Embrilliance. Let me go over here to Canvas Workspace. Okay. Let me make sure you guys can see. Where's my phone? I get nervous. I get nervous at this. Let me do this real quick here. I need to go to YouTube because I can't see your chat. Go here, Power Tools with Thread. And we're live. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Okay. So now I don't have it in my projects yet because I haven't uploaded it, right? It's still in my downloads file. So I'm going to come over here to the new, and I'm just going to click it. And now what I want to do right here in this menu, set of menu buttons, there's an SVG box right there. So I'm going to click SVG, and it says import a file. No file is selected. Let's choose the file. And here it is, Dresden Wreath KB-SVG. And I'm going to tell it open. And then I'm going to click OK. And look at that. Ta-da, right? Now, are these all one piece? No, they are not. So what I want to do is I'm going to separate these. There are 3 pieces of each fabric in the pattern, I believe. So I'm going to scooch them up right close to each other so that they are friends and will cut out of the same. I think it's 3. Is it 3 or 4? I need to double check and make sure. On this thing, how many of those do I see? I see 3. There are a total of 4 fabrics. Okay. So there's 3. Now, the other half of the second hooping is exactly the same. So I'm going to make them all at one go. Okay. So now what I want to do here, I'm going to, if I just click one, let me hide this. It gives me the size of one piece, which is 3.43 inches by 3.31. All right. I want to know how much fabric I need for all of these. So I'm going to highlight them all and then right click and group. And now I can see I need a piece of fabric. I might need a longer mat. I am going to need a longer mat. I might have to do this on the 24, which is fine. So let's go up to make this a 24-inch mat. I'm going to go up to Project tab, and I'm going to change it to 12 by 24. Okay. So now that's good. So I'm going to add 1 inch to 1.5 inches to each one of these numbers, and that's going to make sure that I'm going to cut a big enough piece of fabric for them. Okay. So this one's almost 4. So let's make it 5.5 by 7.5. Why? Why make it so much bigger? Because when you're cutting your own shapes, you need enough fabric around the outside of the shapes to grip on the mat while that blade is dragging around. So 1 inch to 1.5 inches, okay, will do. So I'm going to make all of my shapes approximately 5.5. I can get away with 5 probably, or 5.25. But we're just going to do 5.5 by 7. Okay. So I don't need the rest of these anymore. All right. That's the beauty. I actually didn't need all 3 of those. That is the beauty. Whoop. I'm going to hit delete. Okay. So now I have this. I'm going to right click and duplicate. I'm going to move it right down here. Okay. So I'm going to cut this one, then this one. And I'm going to click this, right click and duplicate. Look how quick this is. Now, one of my fabrics is directional. So I need to pay attention to that. It's got little trees on it, okay? And I don't want my trees upside down on that one piece. So I'm going to ungroup this, right click and ungroup. And I'm going to grab this guy and I'm going to rotate him around, okay? And let's get everything kind of hunkered in here. About like that. They look like little headstones, don't they? Right click and group. Now, if you group something in Canvas and you download it, you cannot ungroup it at the machine. So just an FYI on that, all right? So we have 1, 2, 3. Oh, let me do this again. Right click and duplicate. Okay. I'll move this guy down here. Whoop. And then this guy right there. That just makes it easier for me to see. Okay. So 5.5. How big is this one right here? Let's see. I think I might do, 5.75 by, let's see, that's almost 7. So that'll need to be like 8.5. So let's do 5.5 by 8.5. That's plenty big. I know it's going to cut good. Okay. I said 4 of each, not 3. Oh, Dee Dee Ray, girlfriend. No. There are 3 of each, 4 fabrics, right? 3 of each. Let's see. 3 of each, 4 fabrics. Count the dots. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. I don't think you're wrong. I probably misspoke, but thanks for making me double check. I appreciate that. Okay. All right. Now, that's a really good point. Annie brought up, it depends on why is it not mirrored? Okay. Why are you doing it? I mean, do you do face up? Do you do face down? So, I like to cut face up. So I met with this gentleman, Scott Mullins, who owns Hot Fix Adhesive at the Houston Quilt Festival last month. I can't believe it's been over a month. It's been a month since market. Yeah. So I have stopped using Heat and Bond Light. Heat and Bond, I don't know what's happened to it lately, but it prefers to stick to the mat rather than to the fabric, which I don't care for. So on Heat and Bond with a mat, unless your mat is completely unsticky, then you would mirror it and flip it over, although these are all identical. But the directional ones will turn upside down or sideways as I rotate around. And yeah, Joyful, yeah. But the fabric won't. I want the trees facing outward the whole time, regardless of whether it's at the bottom of the thing or the side or whatever. They're not tossed. They're directional. So Kathy says, I used Hot Fix yesterday for the first time. Face up works so great. I'm a believer. I'll tell you, the best thing, why aren't I combining the 3 hoopings? Well, Pam, I probably could. No. I'm not sure that it'll fit. My biggest hoop is the 10 by 16. I don't think it'll fit. Debbie, the final size of the design, does it say? It doesn't say on here. Now, it'd be in the instructions. So, okay. You're getting confused, Vicki? You've seen me do this 100 times, girl. Okay. So let's go back to Canvas. Let me make sure I'm in the right place here. All right. So now I'm in Canvas. I'm going to call this Wreath Dresden's KB, Wreath Dresden KB for Kimberbell. So I just changed the name of it over here in the title of this, and I'm just going to hit the inbox with an arrow right there, and I'm going to save it. So I'm done, right? All right, saving the project is completed. I'm going to tell it okay. Now I want to download it. So I've got this great big obnoxious download button right here, and I'm just going to click that. And it wants to know, do I want to download it to my PC? Well, no, I'm not snap-appliquing this, so I don't need to, I already have the embroidery file, so it's not snap-applique. I just need to send it to the Scan and Cut so I can cut out my pieces. So I'm going to tell it Scan and Cut transfer. And I am connected, and it says it's ready, and I'm going to hit close. And I'm finished with Canvas. Okay? Very easy. So I found the piece in the design, the single piece. I went through and I identified with a right click in the properties box, this is applique position. Okay? I found just the one, so I kind of knew the size, but I identified them all as applique position, and then I sent them to Canvas. Okay? I did a tiny bit of an inflate, tiny bit. This would be good to do on the jumbo hoop and the 10 needle. No, Pam, it will not. It will not. So a common misconception with that jumbo hoop and the 10 needle, which is the big 14 by 14, is that it will stitch a 14-inch design. It will not. It will stitch half. It will only stitch half of a 9 by 14. The only benefit of that giant hoop is you don't have to re-hoop to do the second half of it. You just pull the hoop, turn it around, and put the hoop back in and stitch the second half. Maybe you could, but you can't do it all in one hooping. Maybe if that's what you meant. I don't know. I kind of wondered about that myself. I don't know. I don't know. Possibly. I don't want to play with it. I got stuff to do. I don't have time to fiddle with that. That's what you were thinking, Pam? I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so let's get some fabric ready. I was planning on using this from Sherry and Chelsea. I changed my mind. I'm terrible with picking fabric. So I went with this darling bundle that I found. It's called On Dasher by Sweetwater. I love this from Moda. Oh my goodness. So pretty. So I have to use these little tossed reindeer. Of course I do. So I've got tossed reindeer. Okay. Here are my directional trees I was telling you about. Let me get that to focus. Focus. There we go. There's my little directional trees. Will this be the same process for Prim? Ruth, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to pre-cut my pieces for Prim. There's not that much applique in each block, so I doubt it. It's going to be easier for me to just trim around one or two pieces of applique in the hoop on Prim. I have some little snow and red, white and red dots. And then the other green, I've got a couple of choices here. And I think I already know my answer. I've got a really tiny green with white scallops. It almost reads lighter. I've got all of the reindeer names in a tossed reindeer. Okay. And then I have this larger print. I think this is too large to use. So, oh, Star says she loves this bundle. She's been using it. I had a, she's been using it in Christmas stuff for her grants. Yeah, I know. I love it too. Love it too. Do I need to reline the design when I turn the hoop? See, that's the thing. Yeah, if I turn that hoop on that 14 by 14, that's where I'd get stuck. Yeah. I imagine I could split it in brilliance. You need to go into, and you see my brain working? You need to go into, you need to bring the whole 9 yards into enthusiast and split it into 2 with those markings of realignment. That enthusiast will do that. See, now I'm going to have to play with it. Okay, so I'm going to use this one with the names. So this is the rest of the line. It is so cute. This is from last year, y'all. So I had a fat quarter bundle, okay? And look at my little reindeer in the baby blue. How cute are those guys? And, but I chose a bundle, and then I found a fat 1/8 bundle. Ta-da! Yay, it was a treasure hunt in my room. But I wanted to use a bundle because the reds in the bundle are going to work for the outside of the pattern. Am I, you know, I don't know. We'll see. But they all go together, and that's the point. So let's cut some fabric, shall we? These I said were going to be 5.5 by 7. Was that right? Yeah. 5.5 by 7. This, my trees are going to be, look at me picking fabric. I know I'm all grown up. I'm just, you know, I'm pretty good after stitching so much Lori Holt, and she uses small scale prints for the most part. I'm kind of getting the idea of what scale of fabric works well. Okay. So I'm still cheating and using bundles so that everything coordinates. But I love Sweetwater fabric too. Those ladies, they know how to design. Okay. So let's do some cutting, shall we? I'm not going to need you, small Matt. Change of plan. Now, see, if I was by myself and I was doing this, I would have had this done in just a few minutes. So, all right. So this is my trees. Now my trees, let's see. I'm going to have to make that, I'm going to have to turn that thing 90. I'm going to have to turn that one 90. Not a big deal, okay? Because that's too much. I said that 5.5 seems like an awful lot. But I'm going to have to turn it 90 to get, because of the direction. I have a fat 1/8 and not a whole. So we'll do it just a little bit smaller. It'll be fine. Okay, so there's my trees, my directional fabric. Okay. And then these, I'm just going to go through here. So if it's a fat 1/8, this is 9 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and that seems awful big. How big were those? I didn't write it down. See, this is what happens. Let me go back and look at my thing. These need to be, okay, so they're 3.97 by 6. Okay, so yeah, 5.5. Sure is. Okay. And it's going to be by 9. This one I need to, so 7.5 for this one. One of them I need to cut short so that I can turn that other one sideways and make it fit. We're going to have a little scrap. Okay. Here we go. I might have cut that too small. I did 4.5. All right. Let me turn on my, I'm going to use my big Cricut press. I kind of use both irons. I tack on the, let's see, 5.5. I tack on the hot fix with an iron and then press it. It has to be for a certain amount on both sides. Okay, this is a bigger piece of, oh, look at that. I tucked that in there. Okay. I love those little reindeer. Oh my goodness, so cute. All righty. Let's go over here. And we're going to take a look here. Down there. All right. So let me press these out. I just turned on that big Cricut. And I'm getting it up to 380, which is standard cotton setting. What did I do here? This is not right. Oh, yeah, it is. I don't know. I'm a little worried about that. I just really don't want to have too short of fabric. But that one has to be turned vertically because it is directional. Okay, and then this one. All right. So I've got my hot fix here. I have a big old roll of it. It just lives here on my ironing station. So let's just get this done. I'm going to put this here. Just going to kind of line these up nice and straight. I guess I can just do this now. It's up to, it's not hot enough yet. My press is not hot enough. So I'm just going to tack this on here. Just a little bit. I don't get all hung up on, oh, I got to cut it to this exact size and all that. I don't bother with that. Okay. And the beauty of this Hot Fix adhesive, and if you guys want to get some, I have a link below, and I have a coupon code POWER for 10% off. If you're one of my viewers, you're going to get it cheaper than anybody else in the industry because you guys watch my channel, and Scott is such a nice person. He says, I'd be happy to give your viewers a discount. That would be wonderful. So, okay, I'm trimming off the extra here. I kind of overlap these fabrics by 1 or 2 threads. Okay. And I have a shoebox in here that just holds all of my little extra pieces. All right. So now this needs, what does it need? I need to read it. It's upside down, y'all. It says, put it on there for 10 to 15 seconds. Okay. So I'm going to set my timer here. It's on 12, 13. Oh, we'll do, I think it's 10 seconds first and then 15 on the second one. Timer down to 10, timer. Okay. And so I'm just going to set this here and let it go. How handy is that? So it's counting down here and I don't have to guess, which I really like. Okay. I'm going to turn it out. It's hot, 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 hot. Turn it around. And you guys have these? I love this thing. Oh my gosh. I haven't used it a lot because I had electricity issues in the room and it kept shorting out my stuff. All right. Now it needs 15 on the back. You have to do this. You can't skimp. And using a regular iron and going back and forth and all that, ugh, I just don't like that. It's annoying. So I'm going to set it here. I'm going to go. All right. Let it count down. That's just so much easier. And it's so big that I can do all of my applique in just one quick pass. Applique can be kind of tedious, which is why I like having the right tool for the job. My dad used to tell me that. Use the right tool for the job, girl. All right, there we go. I'll just let it count down. And then I'll be done with this. Is this easier than trimming in the hoop? I think so. Okay, I'm all finished. Let me put this back. It comes with a nice tray to hold it. Turn it off. And I'm done. And this is, ready. This is ready. Yeah. Okay. That was hot. Let me see here. Okay. Do I have the heat press in the store? I think it's in my Amazon store. I think it is. I think it's in my Amazon shop. I don't know. I'll have to look. If not, I'll put it there. I love that thing. So they make that one. They make another one that's a little bit smaller. If budget is a thing, they're not cheap. They're an investment, you guys. I like to use the little bitty one in the hoop if I'm going to press in the hoop. They have a medium one. I've got that one too, and it's in a drawer somewhere. And then they have the big one. So based on what I'm doing determines which one I'm going to use. Okay. So if you're glad you're seeing this, spill in the diversity. I love it. That's great. Well, I'm glad you're seeing it too. I'm glad you're here. So I need my 24-inch mat now. So let me get that. There's my cutting. There's my scanning mat. I need a 24-inch cutting mat. I have too many. Let's get this out of here. There we go. I don't have a lot of sticky on this. I thought I had a purple one that was in good shape. There's no sticky on this one whatsoever. No sticky whatsoever on that. I thought I had, here it is. No, here it is. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. Now I got a good purple one here. Okay. So the beauty of Hot Fix is what is on the back is not a paper. Okay. What's on the back of this is not paper. It's a plastic. And it will not stick to your mat badly. It will not stick to your mat badly. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to lay this face up. Put it and just press. This is the standard tack, face up. This is the way that he uses it. This is what he says to use. Okay. I might have to change out the directional one and stitch it or cut it differently. I don't know. Let's turn to the scan and cut. Here we go. Make sure this is on. Okay. And okay. I have the standard blade in there. I could probably use the rotary blade on this. I don't know. So let me, I'm just going to put this in here. All right. Put it in the shoulders there and get it lined up. And I need to load the mat. So I'm going to press the load the mat button. Okay. This is taking me an hour because I'm talking through it. If it was just me, I'd be done in 10 minutes, y'all. That quick. Less than that, I'm sure. I want to turn this camera and see if I can't get right up on that screen. Hold on a second here. I'm having to. Okay. I think that'll work. All right. So we've got pattern and scan. Okay. These are patterns that were in the machine when you bought it. And scan is if you're going to scan like a paper pattern. I'm not doing that. Now I need to retrieve data. I need the stuff that I sent down. So let me touch that one. Okay. And it says, where do you want to get it from? From inside the machine, from the cloud, from a USB, or you might be cabled to your computer. So I want to get it from the cloud. That's why I sent it down. It says retrieving, and there it is. Now is when I want to scan. And here's where the money comes in with the scan and cut, and is what makes it a far superior machine to any other cutting machine that's on the market. This button right here, this blue button with a bar across it, that's the scan the mat button. I want to scan the mat. I want it to take a picture of what it sees. I'm going to tell it start. I want it to take a picture of what it sees on the mat. So it's going to pull it in. Looks like a little jail over there in front of the doggy door, doesn't it? Kind of is. I think I got way too much fabric, but that's okay. All right. So again, I want lots of room around my fabric just to hold it in place. I don't need anything pulling up and getting crazy on me. All right. I really didn't need this much fabric. I could have used a lot less. Matter of fact, I might move it over and maybe have more fabric left over as a scrap. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go down. I need to get this one up here. Now this guy, remember I told you, you can't ungroup it. You can't ungroup it at the mat. Okay, so my trees are going to be the wrong direction on the fabric. So I don't want to cut that one. I'm going to send that back down again. So I'm going to go into the edit button and I'm going to hit the trash can. Do I want to delete the selected data? I'm going to tell it okay. I'm going to show you a trick of how I do this. Okay, so let me get this closer to center. I want to make sure it's got lots of fabric around it. I'm going to tell it okay. Tell it okay. Please select and cut and start. Okay, less than 2 minutes, it's going to cut it all. There we go. Okay. Now, while that's doing that, let's see it, let it get going. There it goes. Cut, cut, cut. Nice. No drama. Okay. So while it's busy, let's go back here. And I'm going to go back to Embrilliance. Okay, back to Canvas Workspace. This one, delete. This one, delete. This one, delete. I'm going to leave this one where it is. This one, right click, ungroup. Okay, I want to rotate it 90. Click this, rotate it. Click this. There we go. That's good. I'm not going to group them right now. I'm just going to hit download again and scan and cut transfer. And it's ready. Okay. So I've got that done. Good. All done. Okay. So I'm going to tell it okay. It's finished cutting. Okay to delete all patterns. I'm going to tell it okay. I want to go to retrieve data from the cloud. There it is down there at the bottom. Let me make sure. Nope. See, this is why I need to make sure everything is going to fit fine on here. Let me put this one right up here. All right. I don't want those. And if you need to get in close to see, you can go to edit and there's a magnifying glass right there. Okay. And you can go down to the bottom. Well, you can get, it gets up to 200%. You can scroll all over. I don't need that. I can see it pretty well. This looks good. Okay. I think I'm going to tell it okay and tell it okay. See, I didn't move the fabric. I'm going to please select and cut and start. All right. Make that scan and cut sing. Woo! Y'all, there's 1,100 people in here. You guys, give me the thumbs up or a like if you would. I appreciate that very much. My dog's barking at me. It's very good for the algorithm. Hit like and channel up on the TV. Subscribe. Thank you, Debbie. She's my cheerleader. So you can change mid-flow here if something's not like you would like it. All right, all done. I'm going to tell it okay. And I'm going to eject my mat. Bring this up. There we go. Let's get this out of the way here. All right. This is the fun part, y'all. So now when you make shapes and embrilliants, they will leave a little thread sometimes. And that is the tie in and tie out. All right, there we go. Look at this. Y'all, I'm telling you, go to hotfixadhesive.com. That's the link, and use coupon code POWER for 10% off your purchase. I am using the Hot Fix Featherweight. Okay. I'm just using my spatula to kind of pop that out, that single little thread. You don't want it to tear or pull. Now, the plastic on the back stayed on the mat. Okay. It didn't come up with this. It stayed on the mat. But I want you to check this out. This is unheard of with heat and bond. Oh, hold on. Let me get in. So to pull these up, just use your little, okay. Now the plastic, that came off in one beautiful piece, okay. It stayed on the mat, no big deal. Just get your thing under there and look, it's plastic. It pulls up in one whole piece, no shredding like the paper that came on, the paper came off on that. There's no pulling and shredding paper like with heat and bond. You cannot ruin a mat with this. I absolutely adore this. Oh my gosh, he is such a brilliant man to come up with this process. Love it. And everything cut just perfect. Oh, see my paper? It kind of, whoop, let me get back out. There we go. Just get that little corner up and grab it. Clean as a whistle. Yes. My trees are all directionally correct. Okay. So if this stuff stayed on there, I don't care about that. My little reindeer are adorable. Okay. So now all my pieces are cut. I love it. And I know they're all going to fit. And anywhere I left plastic, I can just lift it right off. If you've ever ruined a mat, you know that this is like hearing the angels sing right here. Okay. You know what that is like. I always call it a rite of passage. Well, those days are gone if you use the right product. Love it. Okay. All right, you guys. Our hour is up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you got a lot out of this. This stuff changed my life. The Hot Fix Featherweight did. The standard one works just as well. There's really not a lot of hand differences between the two of them. But if I can get my hands on the Featherweight, that is what I'm going to use. And these turned out just absolutely beautiful, didn't they? I love it. Quote wench. What? No way. Yeah. All right, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. I loved it. I loved it. Come on back tomorrow and we're going to stitch the wreath. Okay. I love y'all. Enjoy your day. Give me a like and subscribe and tell your friends about me too. It's always fun to have coffee together, isn't it? You guys go sew something. Bye.